And sorry for using quotation marks, but you know what? Eat me. What is going on, everybody? S.L.B coming at you with another video review. This time we're taking a look at Zeta Toys ZB-05 Downthrust. Let's take a quick look at the packaging. Just have some nice artwork on the front there of Downthrust in his robot mode. On this side we just have Downthrust in his robot mode again. This is the actual picture of the figure. On this side we have Downthrust in his airplane mode. Right there. On the front of the on the top of the packaging, Zeta logo, ZB-05 Kronos, Downthrust, bomb the packaging, warning, all that fun stuff. And on the bottom of the packaging, you just have a foot. You just have a foot. But that is the finishing off the artwork for the combined mode with their calling Kronos, but we know him as Superion. So that is it for the packaging. Let's get him out and see what he looks like in hand. So here we have Downthrust out of the packaging, and he is a great representation, a great reimagining, a great upscaled version of the G1 aerial bot Skydive. Let's go over what's included in the packaging first and foremost. So first thing that's included is the obligatory collector card, which I do love. Looks very cool. Same artwork as the packaging on the front there. On the back, obligatory product shots, tech specs, but in very nice thick cardstock. I do like my collector cards, so that's nice. Also included in the packaging are your obligatory instruction sheets, which are very nice, very thoughtful. Thank you very much, Zeta, for actually doing good instruction sheets. I really do appreciate it. You also get an additional head for Flyfire, which is very nice. Nice paint, nice sculpt on that. Looks very good. Also included in the packaging is his double-barreled gun. Very lacking in the paint, kind of lacking in the molded detail department, but you get what you pay for. But it's still nice nonetheless. It's different. It's double barrel instead of single barrel. But again, it would have been nice to include some paint in this, especially like right here. Maybe some nice line. I'll take care of that myself probably. It's a nice Sharpie, very thin Sharpie, but yeah. And there is storage for this in plane mode. We'll get into that in a second. And just like all the other Zeta planes that we've got in this line, guess what they include? Oh yeah, you know it, I know it. Missiles. Hooray for missiles. Just different mold, but it's the same thing nonetheless, and there is storage for them, but we'll get into that later. Let's move on to the figure. And as I said before, this guy is a great representation of the G1 Skydive. He looks amazing. Quick addendum though, this is just mine, but the landing gear on the front here is a little askew, so I may have to take this apart and fix it up later, but it doesn't hinder transformation, it doesn't hinder, you know, robot mode, plane mode, combined mode. It doesn't, none of that, you know, makes a difference. It's fine the way it is for right now. But moving right along, a very nice gray and black plastic with some nicely yellow painted details all throughout. Some silver bits at the bottom here. Gimmick wise, cockpit does open. Some little bit of molded detail and nice seats. I like the fact that the seat's a different color than the rest of the plane. Just kind of breaks it up a little bit. Some nice tampographed ZB-05 down here. Looks really good. A little bit more all throughout. Looks great. Looks very streamlined. Very nice. Nice thruster in the back with some red paint in there. I don't know how well you can see it. Let's get it out there. There, how's that? And look at my new tattoo. But that's a different story for another day. Looks very good. The bottom cleans up very well, although there are some issues with this tabbing in, but they had the same thing on their last figure, so not too upset about that. But yeah, looks very good. So like I said before, you can take the missile pods here, 4 pegs, just like all the other figures. And these are really a tight fit on this one. Let's get them on the outside. Super tight fit. Super tight. There you go. And you can take the blaster and peg it on the available slots, just like that. And there you have them all armored up, ready to pew pew, bang bang, shoot down the Decepticons. So let's get into some comparisons, shall we? Let's just move them right about here. Oh, no, landing gear down. Right about there. How's that? That good? All right. Let's get into some comparisons. Here he is next to Combiner Wars Silverbolt. Here he is next to Combiner Wars Blastoff. Here he is next to Masterpiece Acid Storm. And for a nice higher up view, here he is next to the rest of the Zeta Limbots. So that is it for comparison. Let's get him into robot mode and see what robot mode looks like. So here you have Downthrust in his robot mode, and it's a nice looking robot mode. The color palette on this guy is so satisfying. It's making me drool a little bit. Just the blacks and the grays and the reds look really good together with the little nods of yellow and silver. Really make this stand out. Let's get into the sculpt of the figure. Proportionately, he looks outstanding. Let's get in on that head sculpt. The head is very nice, very smooth, nicely done. Nice head sculpt, nice blue paint for the eyes, nice orange face there with a very nice black helmet, smoothing it out and looking very nice. The subtle molded detail looked very good. I'm glad they went with this instead of an over stylized or extra greebly helmet. I think this looks very nice, very spot on with the G1 figure. Moving down, got a little bit of a crown molded in here, which looks pretty good. Some clear plastic in the chest area with some gray plastic behind it. Nice silver paint in the waist area here. Kind of breaks up the red. Looks very nice. Some more clear plastic in the crotchal area. This is a little unsettling. It's like a urethra right here. Some nice clear plastic here. A little more clear than the chest area, but not too clear. A little cloudiness, a little less cloudy than this area, but you get some nice red and yellow paint behind the knees here, and some red painted areas in the shins with some molded detail here all throughout. Looks really good. And the feet are very nice. I like these feet. I like the silver paint they have in the foot, top of the foot right here. Looks very good. Really stands out in the feet area. Yeah. Let's go over articulation for the figure. So articulation wise, the head again is on a ball joint. You can do a full 360 that way. You can look up fairly decently, can look down decently as well. The arms can do a full 360 very tight that way, and they can go out only that far, which is kind of a shame. There's a bicep swivel there. There's a 90-degree bend at the elbow, no double joint there like Catapult and Flyfire. The wrists are on a swivel. And did I forget to do that on Catapult? I forgot to do the hands and wrists for Catapult. The wrists are on a swivel. Thumb is on a ball joint there. And you've got a... Let's grab Mr. Spudger here. You've got a bend here at this knuckle as well as a bend here at this knuckle. And I said it in the Catapult video. I'm going to say it again. I think Zeta updated their fingers here because these tolerances are a lot better than the previous two. They feel tighter, they feel more secure, and they feel like if I mess around with them, the fingers aren't going to go flying everywhere. I'm going to be missing fingertips or thumbs everywhere. The waist is on a very tight swivel for mine, and yes, the backpack does get in the way for doing a full rotation, but it's still, I mean, look at that. For all that backpack, this is a nice range of motion for a waist swivel there. Get the hand out of the way, move the skirt. Legs can go forward very far. You got some silver paint on the inside. That should be folded in. Can go back only that far just due to the backpack, but if you bring it up, you can go back even further if you want to cheat it. And satisfying ratchet outward movement getting you that far. Bringing it down. Hip swivel, nice tight hip swivel, I should say. Another satisfying ratchet knee bend, getting you 90 degrees there. Oh, so satisfying. Good range of movement on the feet here. Can go forward and back like so. And a little bit of an ankle tilt there. It's on a ball joint, so there you have that. Let's get him positioned properly. You can have him hold his weapon. Let's just bring the hip skirt back down here. He can hold his weapon. Let's grab Mr. Pointer Spudger here. Since this hand's open, we'll just use that simple slot and peg right there. Let's get it in. Nice secure fit. Get those fingers wrapped around. Nice and secure. Very tight. And that's not going anywhere. So there you have that. There is really no storage for the missile pods in robot mode unless you want to store them up here, which you can. It's only because the way the wings collapse on the legs right here, you can't have them pegged in. So that's kind of a bummer, but they're flimsy anyways. They come off kind of easy, so not a big deal. So let's get into some comparisons, shall we? Let's move him over here. Move Mr. Pointer Spudger, and let's get into some comparisons. Here he is next to Combiner Wars Silverbolt. Here he is next to Combiner Wars Blastoff. Here he is next to Masterpiece Thundercracker. And here he is next to the other Zeta Toys limb bots here. You've got Airstrike, Flyfire, and Catapult. So now that all the comparisons are done, let's get into some final thoughts for Downthrust here. So final thoughts on Zeta, Downthrust, Skydive, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to be completely honest. This guy's got to be my favorite. And the only reason why I'm putting him above everybody else is that color palette. The reds, the grays, the blacks, they all look so good on this figure. On the other three Limbots, you've got your whites, your reds, your silvers, little yellow, some gunmetal. On this guy, it's just so appealing to see this different color scheme on this guy. And the way Zeta nailed it on this figure, it looks really good. And not to mention his tolerances are far beyond better than what we've seen previously. Sculpt-wise, he looks outstanding. His overall presence is very appealing. His articulation is on point. It's very breathtaking that Zeta finally nailed all their tolerances with this figure. Yes, it's the last one in the line. I just feel like they've learned from their mistakes, and this one nailed it head on, and they finally got it right. With the fingers, the hips, the ankles, the knees, everything came together in a very satisfying figure, and I think this one nailed it. And that's just my opinion. So what do you think of this figure? Let me know in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hit me up on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. All that information will be in the link down below, as well as my PayPal account. If you want to throw me a couple bucks, be my guest. And this is S.L.B, and this has been my review of Zeta Toys ZB-05 Downthrust, aka Skydive. And this is S.L.B saying, my childhood hates me.